What's up, guys? Real quick, I do want to take a second and thank today's sponsor, Bellroy. You saw here, I'm using this kind of catch-all fanny pack. Really nice construction, really cool colorway. I'm a fan of this kind of coyote tan, almost like urban tactical. Has a couple pouches here. It carries everything I need and more. And for someone who does a lot of like automotive shoots in the canyons on the weekends, I'm often carrying a couple lenses with me, plus my wallet, my keys, a pocket knife, a pen, a little notebook. Having something like this that carries everything I need in one like discrete package, it's not this big bulky rucksack. It's just really helpful for the day trips I take. But let's say you're not in the market for this. Don't worry, Bellroy has a bunch of really nice kind of larger backpacks. They have some nice leather goods, like some very sophisticated phone cases and wallets. But I'm gonna leave a link to Bellroy in the description below where you can click, shop around yourself, and tell them the time teller sent you. Here we have a watch from Ciga Design. I've never seen one of these watches. Like I've never held one. I've heard of this brand, but I don't believe we've reviewed any of them on Microbrand Monday yet. I'm gonna review this watch today, as I always do, because again, I can only speak to the watch that I have here in front of me, but I also wanna take a look at kind of an interesting theme that's going on with this watch's Indiegogo campaign comment section. This is all gonna make sense in a moment. So please stick around because you are not gonna wanna miss this. Guys, if you enjoy watches but you don't take anything that seriously, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell. And then what I want you to do, go ahead and take the like button skiing. All right, it's the end of the season. You got to get those runs in. You don't want to miss out. Make sure to put the like button in a gondola. Make sure it's really nice and comfortable in there, and just that excitement, that anticipation hitting the slopes, but lock him in the gondola and turn the chairlift full speed. I don't even know what that would be like, but that would be, well, I think that would, that's terrifying. It is 6:45 p.m. Let's get down to business. This watch is 48 by 48 millimeters. It's made of grade 2 titanium. Now this case is DLC coded. It's powered by a 25 joule automatic beating at a 21,600 VPH frequency. Here's something that cracked me up when I first read the spec sheet. World's first anti-shock system inspired by premium SUVs. I think Formex would probably have something to say about that, right? You're getting a sapphire crystal, you're getting a -15 to +30 second a day accuracy, a 40-hour power reserve, and a 3 atmosphere water resistance. Okay, so the second you saw this watch, you guys already know this is not something I personally would wear. I'm just not the biggest fan of skeleton watches. I think most of the time they look kind of gaudy. Now I will say everything I see and feel, it doesn't look dirty. Everything looks pretty clean. Everything looks and feels pretty solid. It's not like flimsy or cheap feeling. However, and this is where I'm gonna blow your mind, all the watch reviews I do are from one guy's perspective, right? I can only speak to the watches I have in my hands at this time. And again, my reviews and my perspective comes from my somewhat limited time spent with each watch I have. But when we go to the Indiegogo campaign for this watch, there are some people out there that have spent more time with this watch than myself. And there's kind of an overarching theme with this brand and with this watch as far as their public Indiegogo campaign goes. The first comment from 8 days ago at the time of filming is from a man named James. He writes, "I won't back Ciga anymore because they cheated the backers. They always stated several percentage off in all their campaigns, but in reality, their selling price in AliExpress is a lot cheaper. I guess you can get some of their watches cheaper on AliExpress than you could on their Indiegogo campaign." Now, he might just be upset about the price he paid, but there's some more disconcerting information in these comments. Another person writes, "They sold me watch number 3177 with missing screws and they refused to respond." Another person writes, "No response at all." They go on to say, "This is literally my worst purchase on Indiegogo so far. The watch would tell the wrong time. It's no longer functional. Having the watch for a couple of months, worn it maybe a handful of times, the hour hand has become misaligned." Another person writes, "The watch I received in May stopped working. What should I do?" Another person writes, "Still waiting for a response to my email on the 8th of August. Why has Ciga failed to respond? My watch has stopped working." Now the person writes, after 6 weeks, mine has stopped working after the nonsense around the shipping, delivery of wrong watch, and now it's stopped. To say I'm disappointed is a massive understatement. Now the person writes, I did not receive the blue titanium. I was sent the incorrect watch in purple. Please explain why. Now again, I'm not specifically a customer of Ciga Design. They sent me this watch to review, so I can't really speak to their customer service. And the truth is, this watch hasn't like broken on me or fallen out of spec, so to speak, like with the time that I've spent with it. But I feel it's my responsibility as a watch reviewer to show you the good and the bad, regardless of who sends me a watch or sponsors an episode. I'm telling you the truth as I see it, and I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. And guess what? Every watchmaker, every brand that asks me to do a sponsored review gets the same response from me. Yeah, we'll do it, but our one condition is that we're not going to censor ourselves and we're not going to lie or deceive the viewership. We're thankful for your sponsorship. We're thankful for your support because, again, that's what allows this channel, this small business that I've built to stay afloat. But part of the reason we're successful is because we tell our viewers the truth and they trust us. So yeah, I'm very happy that Ciga Design wanted to sponsor this channel. This watch is not a watch I would personally wear, and although my example here looks and feels decent, it seems like a lot of people have had some pretty bad experiences with their Ciga Design watches. And again, all this information, this is like not me speculating here. This is just what we've read on their public Indiegogo campaign for this watch. But with all of this being said, we still have to do the pros and cons, so let's get into it. Pros. The watch actually winds incredibly smoothly. The crown feels very good when you wind it up. The next pro is that the movement actually looks pretty nice. Not like crazy decoration, but it's fun to look at these skeletonized watches, especially if it has a display case back, the rotor kind of floating there. It's fun. Again, when we're looking like down at the dial, it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not the biggest fan of skeletonized watches, but they're interesting to look at. And the final pro would be that the packaging was very fun, very novel, not something I've ever seen. It literally, when they sent it to me, I was confused. I thought they sent me a book, and I was wondering where the actual watch was. And then boom, you open it up. Hey, the watch is in the book! But as I said earlier, with the good comes the bad, so let's get into the cons. First con, I kind of said it already a few times, I'm not a big skeleton watch guy. Next con, the dimensions are going to be kind of big, 48 by 48, if you're someone with a more slender wrist. And then the final con is kind of those comments, those consistent comments, that consistent negative theme in the comment section of the Indiegogo campaign, it's hard to overlook, right? It does not instill confidence in their products. That's what I will say. So in conclusion, I think this is an interesting piece. It's definitely interesting to look at. Everything felt good with my example. I didn't wear this long term though, but I do like the specs as far as the materials used, you know, sapphire, titanium, DLC coating, everything seemed okay. But I don't like their marketing. The whole, I think, what is it? The first suspension system, world's first anti-shock system inspired by premium SUVs. Okay, Formex has been using like suspension system in their watch cases for a long time, so I don't think that Ciga Design was the first. And I think, again, we have to take into consideration the comments on their Indiegogo campaign. But what do you think about all this, guys? Do you understand like what I'm getting at? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm being too harsh? Leave me that comment and let me know what you think. And again, guys, please, if you enjoy watches but you don't take anything too seriously, consider subscribing and then find that like button, take it to the ski slopes, put it in a gondola, lock the gondola, put the chairlift up full speed. Who's laughing now? Like button. All right, guys, stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I will catch you on the next one. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller, and always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.